All right, all guests are coming to you via the Fire Wings hotline. Try one of their delicious flavors of wings today. Fire Wings. Just wing it. And look, we're going to start out with our guest, with Arik Armstead, with his day yesterday. Amazing for him on his off day to head out to Capitol Mall to be a part of the festivities yesterday. Arik, it was great seeing you there yesterday. And why did you feel it was important for you to be out there kind of representing Sacramento?
It was a big day for Sacramento. You know, adding a major sports team is a big deal. And I wanted to be there and be a part of it and join in on the party and the parade. I feel like sports bring communities together. They build camaraderie and pride in the city. And so it was a big deal for Sacramento. And, you know, I'm super excited and can't wait to get there when the stadium is built and, you know, attend my first game.
I want to remind everybody, because this is so cool, Arik Armstead, all year long pledging $1,000 per sack and $250 per tackle in every game. Fans can pledge per tackle or a flat donation, and all funds raised go to the Armstead Academic Project to help kids in the classroom here in Sacramento. Just go to Arik Armstead, that's ARIK Armstead 91, to make your pledge per tackle, per sack, etc. We'll mention that again at the end of the interview. I want people to know about that, what Arik's doing. Couple of things for you. Number one, very important. I saw you putting your Republic jersey on yesterday. When I got mine, they said that the largest size they had was 2X. There's no way they gave you a 2X, dude. How big was that jersey?
Yeah, it was a 2X.
It was a 2X?
Oh.
God. How does that even work?
He's a fit athlete.
Because it looked like it fit you.
Yeah, it was a little
short.
I had a shirt underneath, so
okay.
It made it a little more snug, but it didn't fit too bad.
Secondly, after social media yesterday, I got to answer this. A lot of fans and national media are picking up on this, Arik. Are you a game time decision, or are you good to go after my tackle attempt on you yesterday? Were you okay? Were you able to recover on the way back?
I think right after they said that I would be good, so okay. I don't think I was ever questionable.
I was explaining earlier. I don't know how anyone stops you from getting. I'm like, Arik, I'm not tiny. And you didn't. It's not like I really tried to tackle you, but had I, it would have hurt me more than you. Do you ever look over at offensive linemen and go, how does anybody get? I mean, I know they're big, but just seeing and being around an NFL player like you up close, I don't know how anybody stops you from getting to point A or point B. Is it more your strength or your agility, would you find, that helps you in doing what you need to do?
Definitely have to have a combination of both, but, you know, those guys are good and they get paid too, and, you know, the NFL is full of talented athletes, so it's good battles out there on Sunday.
Well, Arik, another week, another win. Interesting, to say the least. Your defense shut out Washington. Offense didn't give you guys a ton of points. How much of a factor in the game was the weather, just the sloppy, wet turf there in Washington?
It was a huge factor in the game. I think it affected both teams' game plans, and, you know, it shortened the play call list, I'm sure, for offenses. And but it was a lot of fun. You know, you had to make it fun. You know, you got to find ways to kind of trick your brain into going out there and fighting through. And, you know, that's what we did. We made it fun playing out there. You know, it was exciting to play with my teammates. And, you know, at the end, of course, getting the win made it even better.
I know the media makes things a lot bigger sometimes than they are, but was it in the back of your guys' head at all that this is obviously an important game for Coach Shanahan, and he made some comments during the week basically like, what was the best thing about working in Washington, being with my dad, and then other than that, nothing. You know, you could tell he kind of wanted to get this one against his former team. Do you guys think about that at all, or is it just we got to beat the guy in front of us?
Yeah, I mean, pregame for sure. You know, it was on our mind. We had talked about it, how big it was to our coach, and but I don't think, you know, throughout the game,
sure,
you know, it's not going through my head before I put my hand in the ground. But definitely, it was on all our minds of how important this game was, and so that was a part of the reason why we were playing so hard.
Well, kind of along the same lines, Arik, how important to the defense was to get the shutout? You guys wanted the win first and foremost. You had 3 points you allowed to the Browns, 7 to the Rams, and then you back it up with nothing allowed to Washington. Collectively as a defense, how badly, once you're shutting them out, did you want to make sure, how important was that to you guys to make sure you got the shutout?
I didn't even realize that we had shut them out until after the game when we got back to the locker room.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't even realize. So, we were just playing play-by-play and trying to find a way to get a win. You know, it was 0-0 for a long time. So our focus was to just keep stopping them, and hopefully we knew, our offense would put some points up on the board, and, you look up and you grind it out play-by-play, and then, you play to the end when there's double zeros left on the clock. And yeah, I didn't even realize that it was a shutout until I got back in the locker room and got settled down a little bit.
Our job is to try to analyze and talk about things, in regards to the 49ers, for example. And there's a stat I was looking at the other day that right now, I think five of the 6 teams you guys have played were below 500. And 9 of the next 10 are above 500. And you hear the whispers, I'm sure, around the league. Oh, the Niners haven't proven themselves. Oh, the Rams sucked. There's always an excuse. I know you're not scoreboard watching, Arik, but do you guys ever use that at all for motivation? Like, nobody believes in us. Let's go out and prove that we belong here?
Yeah, I think guys use different forms of motivation. I mean, I look at that as a great challenge, to go out there and play against great teams. I love playing against great teams, and, another opportunity to prove yourself as an individual player in playing a big game, and also prove yourself as a team. So when I look at the rest of the schedule, we're going to have some really exciting games that I'm sure people are going to mark on their calendar and be watching, heavily. So I can't wait.
Statistically, you guys are doing some amazing things defensively. You obviously have to know that when you're out there, how well you guys are playing. When you guys gathered as a team, did you get a sense, Arik, that this defense was going to be special?
Yeah, the pieces we have on our defense, you could see it all coming together in the off season and, throughout training camp and, preseason, and just trying to fight and continue to get better and better each week and each game. And, I think we're doing that, and we're gelling closer and closer, and we're continuing to get better. And, with the guys we have in the room, if we continue to do that, the sky's the limit for us.
I want to ask you, Arik, about different challenges, in film and preparation. You have the Panthers this weekend. That's going to be a big challenge for you guys. They're a pretty decent team. And Cam Newton's a great player, but he's out. But at the same time, Kyle Allen's 5-0, and hasn't, he had the season finale win last year. He's 4-0 since he took over for Cam this year. So even though Cam's great, does Kyle present a different challenge for you guys, mainly because you don't have as much film and knowledge perhaps on Kyle Allen as you do Cam Newton? Is that a different challenge?
Somewhat. I mean, you watch what you watch the film that you have. It's just like preparing, earlier in the week with a new coach or something, early in the year when you're playing against a new coach at, like, say, a new organization, you don't have much to go off of on. But you just prepare the best way you can. It's week 7 or whatever now, and, we have some film to watch. So we'll watch those games and prepare the best way we can.
Dave talked about the challenges, are going to have with Carolina. I don't know, envision this weekend a little screen dump off to McCaffrey, and he's in space, and you're out there with him. What do you do with someone like that is, has as much shake to his game as anybody out there?
You got to corral him as a team and get him down. Just not one guy being there is going to stop him. He's a great player, so it's going to take all 11 flying to the ball, corralling him and getting him down.
Arik Armstead with us. Arik, you and I were talking last night. You're a basketball guy. I mean, you're obviously a football player, but you have a love for basketball. Season starts tonight, and then tomorrow our Sacramento Kings take the floor in Phoenix. I got to ask you, how do you think the Kings are going to look this year? And have you thought about a prediction for wins? How do you think our team's going to do?
I think the Kings are going to do very well. I think they have a talented young nucleus that is continuing to get better, and I think those guys are going to get better every year. The West is definitely going to be tough, and especially their division. But I think they're going to do well. Fighting for a playoff spot. And so hopefully they can pull it off, and that'll be great for them to go to the playoffs. And I'm sure a lot of people in Sacramento will be excited too.
For sure. Arik, how about the league? Do you have Dave and I were doing predictions for the champion. It's not just as clear cut anymore as it's the Warriors' title again. Who do you like as a potential NBA champion?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, you got Bron and AD. It's hard to bet against, but you got Kawhi, Paul George. That's tough too. The way they can switch everything, and they're also crazy good on offense. And then you got some sleepers around the league of just really good teams like Utah and Denver. So the West is I definitely think the champion's going to come out of the West, but we got some good teams in the East too. So I don't know, man. I would see how, the first month or so goes, see how guys are playing, and then it's really going to boil down to health too, towards the end of the year, and who's able to stay healthy and playing at full strength to get that championship.
Speaking of health, sad news yesterday, Zion Williamson's going to miss, looks like 4 to 6 with a knee injury. And we've never seen really anybody with his athletic ability and size, 6'6", 6'7", 280, 285. You put him out on the football field. Where do you think you put Zion if he switched sports?
I'll put him at DN or tight end.
I mean, that's a huge dude. He's football player size and then some, but has this massive vertical. I'm trying to think in comparison, Arik, but when you see a guy like that as a fellow athlete, I'm sure you just marvel at the fact that he can get that high off the ground with that much weight behind him.
Yeah, I don't think there's really no. I think Zion is kind of one of one in the sense of his makeup and how he's built, and his athleticism. I really haven't seen anything like it.
Well, it's going to be a fun season for sure. Also wanted to check in on your Ducks. They got another win. So let's see, number 11, 6-1. They're at home against Washington State. They're still probably the last hope, I think, maybe them or Utah, to represent the Pac-12. But Ducks looking good.
Yeah, definitely looking good. Super excited about them. Hopefully, they can stay undefeated the rest of the season, win that Pac-12 championship, and then get into that playoff.
One last thing, Arik. We usually don't ask you this, but today is Tuesday. You have a game on Sunday. Would you mind just, you don't have to go into too much detail, but what is a Tuesday for Arik Armstead as a member of the Niners? What does your day look like today?
Tuesday is traditionally our off day.
Okay.
But we had Victory Monday yesterday, so he gave us Monday off. So I'm going to go in. I got to go lift, work out, start my film preparation. So I've already been watching film on the Panthers. Watched a couple games yesterday. And so I'm going to go lift, work out, and then I have a trainer here in the Bay Area with me that I work out with named Mark Hall, who we work out on just strictly D-line technique and stuff like that. So I'm going to get some workouts in and then start my film prep. And then also I got to take care of my body. So I get acupuncture and massage and try to get my body bounced back for Sunday. So that's what I'm doing today.
And if I can ask you, you hear legends about how big football players, how they eat. I'm curious as to what in portions, like a typical dinner for you. I know you were up here last night. You were off, and you were hanging out at the Republic thing. It might have been a bit different, but like tonight, for example, what would be like a typical dinner for you?
Typical dinner depends on the night, really.
Yeah.
But I try to, working out so much, I try to get a lot of calories in, keep my weight up. So I usually eat pretty big portions all the time.
I mean, can you eat whatever? I mean, you're not going to eat like horrible junk food, but if you wanted to go knock out like, a couple of T-bones and a baked potato and a bunch of veggies, like, is that cool? Or you have certain restrictions you put on yourself?
Yeah. I mean, there's certain stuff that I like. As far as steak goes, I do red meat. I only eat red meat like every once in a blue moon, I would say. I don't eat that much red meat, but I do eat a steak every now and then. So I eat a lot of chicken and fish, veggies and good carbs, And I feel like if you're eating good and clean, then you can have as much of it as you want, especially with how much I work out. So I don't really count the portions. I just try to make sure when I'm eating this clean and good for my body.
What's your weakness? Like, what's your weak food that you want? Don't bring it around you because you're going to pound it.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can eat, bro.
You can knock.
Who doesn't?
Knock
I can eat 2 dozen of those, but I do that often too. If you guys follow The Rock on Instagram, he has these crazy cheat meals, so I'll be trying to copy him.
Okay,
not bad one to copy.
And we got to go. Now we're on this. I got a last one. Is there because I'm a Cookie Monster? Is there a preference? Are you a Chips Ahoy guy? Chewy Chips Ahoy? Are you one of the store-bought soft ones? Like, do you have a go-to chocolate chip cookie brand?
Oh, no, I'm definitely not doing Chips Ahoy or anything like that.
Right.
Definitely have to be like either like homemade or
homemade's the way.
Or like a bakery or something.
Yeah.
We got some pretty good places out here. Actually, I like the Whole Foods. They got some pretty good cookies that come from some bakery they use. So I eat those and then homemade, or try to find a good place. Good place in Sacramento. Ooh, what's it called? I think it's called Milk or something.
Oh,
they do. Yeah, their cookies are pretty good.
I mean, in a pinch, I can hit the grocery store, and they've got the packs in the bakery.
Yeah.
The plastic ones where you have the row of chocolate chip, you have the row of the soft ones with the M&Ms in them, and then the row of the white chocolate macadamia nut. I will pound those.
Sounds like you've done that several times.
I mean, I've heard people told me about that.
Exactly.
Arik Armstead is not only a great dude, but he gives back to the 916, pledging $1,000 per sack, $250 per tackle, and fans can join in. Join in with Arik and pledge per tackle or a flat donation as well. All funds raised. Check it out. They go to the Armstead Academic Project. What does it do? It helps kids in classrooms right here in Sacramento. Find a better thing to do with your money than that. Go to Arik Armstead. That's ARIK Armstead91.com to make your pledge. Eric's pockets got lighter by about $1,500 by my count over the weekend. You're doing good stuff, buddy. Loved seeing you there yesterday. Sorry if I bruised you up, and good luck on Sunday.
Appreciate it. Good to talk to you guys.
All right, thank you. That's Arik Armstead.
The Drive.